All right, hey y'all, what to do? So, I said I was gonna record some more videos, so here's the second one. This is not about well, it's about eating, but it relates to goals. So, it had been on my mind as it relates to like my journey as far as the weight loss and some other things that I'm working on as far as myself personally. And I have some goals that I have made, and it made me think about like staying focused on them and like how I'm really right now, like truly and honestly meeting my goals, and I'm continuing to meet my goals as it relates to the weight loss and stuff. And so in that thought, I thought about like what that means for me, and then it came up in a conversation with my mom, and it came up in a conversation with one of my best friends, and so I thought, that probably would be a good video. So anything we want to do in life, whether that be we want to lose weight, we want to have better credit, we want to go to school, anything you want to do as far as, life, you set a goal for it. Or, you should set a goal for it. Like if it's something that you do want, something you want to achieve, you definitely want to set a goal for it. And when you set that goal, you got to stay focused on it. Like honestly and truly, like losing weight, and it's going to, relate back to that, but it relates to other things in life, like achieving things or doing something that requires a sacrifice, requires you to put something into it in order to get something out of it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard to sacrifice. It's going to be difficult to keep going, but you have to. Like, I have my days where I want to just eat what I want to eat. Hell, I like to eat. But I feel like, that's not, well, not I feel like, I know that, but I feel like that's not going to benefit me. Like I could, it'll make me feel good in that moment, and I'll feel like I was able to, get the taste of the food that I wanted. But at the end of the day, there's calories that I don't need to take in and more pounds that I would be putting on. So I really have to focus my mind on what my goal is. Like I have a goal. I have a size I want to wear. I have a weight I want to be under. And it honestly takes a focus. You have to do things like I have to eat right, I have to exercise, but you have to have a focus. You have to have that goal and that focus towards that goal. And you've heard it probably before from other people, but you think like, how bad do you really want it? Like, do you really want it bad enough that you're going to do what's necessary? Like, do I want to lose weight bad enough that I'm going to eat right and that I'm going to exercise? So like just focusing on our goals and what we are doing as far as becoming better people. The focus on the goal is important, but you also have to honestly know what the goal is. Like, what is the actual goal? What is the thing that you're actually trying to get to? And then what is the plan to get to that goal? Okay, like I want to lose weight. What is the plan? I gotta eat healthier. I gotta exercise. And so when we make goals, we have to, one, it's always helpful to write it down. Like it's always helpful to write a goal down because it makes it real. Like, this is what we're about to do. This is what it's gonna be. And this is what I want. This is where I am trying to get to. For me, I'm trying to get to a certain weight. In other areas of my life, I want to get a house and I want to fix my credit. So those are things that I want to work to. So that ultimate goal is what it is. Then the plan are those things that you have to do in order to get there. So for me, again, relating it back to my weight loss journey, changing the eating habit, using the MyFitnessPal, exercising. Like I said, I started doing Just Dance, and I'm doing that regularly. So, and eventually I'm gonna do other things and join boot camps and stuff like that. Like I said, right now I'm not really for in terms of Corona being around people, and so that'll come later. But there are things I can do at home that will now allow me to work out, and that'll go along with the better eating of the food. And it's like, okay, so what is the deadline? So I work for a third-party benefit administrator, and we deal with benefits in all kind of areas. Specifically for my client, I deal with pension, with 401k, with health and welfare, right? And so I'll take our annual enrollment, for example. Every year we have annual enrollment, which is the time when the employees enroll into their benefits. And the goal is completing annual enrollment from our side as the benefit administrator, as customer service. That is the goal. Annual enrollment, them enrolling, it being successful in terms of employees getting enrolled, and not having escalations and issues and things of that nature. There is the project of annual enrollment, and then there is the project plan for annual enrollment. And within the project plan for annual enrollment, there are tasks. So those tasks are assigned to particular people, and they have to complete it by a deadline. Now, for us in our life, our goals may be, we are the project plan. My weight is the project plan. Getting the house is the project plan. But what are the tasks that go along with that? And who is responsible for that? Like something simple, I cook the food while mama wash the dishes. My task is the food and making sure that we have what we need so that we're not overeating, so that we're eating the good things. We're getting majority fresh foods, and tasty foods. And then she washes the dishes so that we can make sure that the pots and pans that we cook with are clean. The meal prep trays or plates are clean so that we can continue to put the plates up. Now, we ain't gonna say that, okay, you got until tomorrow night to wash those, or it's on the schedule of what we're doing. Like, I'm not giving her a deadline in that moment, like, or you need to do these right now in the next 5 minutes. Do them later on tonight. But when we have bigger goals, things that we want to do, you may need to give other people tasks if you're part of a family unit, and that person take on several of those tasks, and y'all come back in and check in with each other and find out, okay, where are you with your goal? Where are you with your task? Your task is set for X date. How are you looking as far as obtaining that goal? And do you need additional time? Do you need additional support in order to get your task completed? And the same thing for mine. Like, what's the status of my task? Are you able to get your task completed? And, am I able to get mine completed by the deadline? And things of that nature. So you really have to make a plan. You have to write it out. And then you have to, honestly tell yourself, this is what we're doing, with focusing on your goals and talking to yourself about the goals and what are we doing? Okay, this is our plan. How are we going to execute this plan, and how am I going to stay on track for that plan? And when you feel yourself going off track, or you feel yourself getting ready to go off track, or being distracted from your actual project, then you have that control over your mind. And our mind is really so powerful in terms of an organ as it relates to everything that it does, like controlling just the simple, the conversation that I'm having with you now, the thought that came to me earlier, or the fact, of just me blinking my eyes. those things in terms of control from the brain. But you can also focus the brain, change the brain where you are laser-like focused on that goal, on what it is that you want to do and what you want. Like, I know in a year, I don't want to be this size. I don't. So my focus is, in that year, what am I doing in order to get there? And it's honestly, being real with yourself, having self-talk, and being like, is this how I want to live? Is this where I want to be in my life? And what can I do to change it? Anytime you have a goal and it's you trying to get somewhere, you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to make changes. Like, if you want to buy a house, you got to change yourself financially. You got to make sure your credit is intact. And if it ain't intact, get that shit together. Get it together. Or if you want to buy a house, maybe you have to start looking. Like, those things, come in with what you're trying to do, or whatever, or you want to buy a house, you want to stop spending as much money up until the time it's time for you to purchase it. So the same thing as far as the journey that I'm on. Like, okay, so I can't go and get whatever it is that I want to eat when I feel like I want to eat it, and go buy it and have a good feeling of, oh, that was so tasty, for a year, for 2 years, until I get myself to where I want to be ultimately. Like, that sacrifice is way less important, or should I say the sacrifice is more important? Which one would it be? I'm not sure, but you get what I'm saying. Like, having the ability to do that and not lose the thing that I would have to sacrifice in order to lose weight, that thing is not most important. It's not most important to me to whenever I feel like I could go and order Olive Garden, or I could eat a gyro and cheese fries, or pizza bowl from Marco's Pizza, or Chinese food, or whatever I feel like eating, and don't give a fuck. Like, excuse me. Not care what I'm eating, not care what I'm saying. Didn't I say I wasn't gonna cuss? I said I could not cuss, but I probably just cuss a lot, so excuse me. But just not caring, honestly, about what I was eating. Like, that sacrifice I can make, like, that's nothing. That's that food, that moment of satisfaction from that eating, that moment of whatever, gratification. Like, that is not, that part's not more important to me than in a year to be halfway to my goal, or 2/3 to my goal. You know what I mean? Like, being close to where I want to be, and actually seeing like a change in my face, a change in my body, and continuing on a path. That's what's most important, and that's what keeps me focused. And so with those goals, it has to be something that you want to hold on to about that will keep you going, because it's gonna be hard. Like, especially with eating, like, you fat, you obese, you overweight, it's because you like food, and you probably with some other things, you might run to food because of comfort. And that's also something that when you're working through those things, it's going to allow you to see those things, recognize those things, and change those things. And after you've done something for, I think it is 21 days, it becomes a habit. Now it's not so hard to continue on that path. Like, right now, with the way I'm doing meal prep and eating and staying with my MyFitnessPal, I'm making that is my life. And that's another thing. It's like, you're going to make that change. It has to become your life. That's going to become your life. And listen, anybody that don't want to hear me say I'm counting calories or what I ate and I'm doing this or that, you don't have to talk to me. You honestly do not. Because for me, this is what I'm doing. And so that's what it's not going to be the only thing that I talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. It's going to end up a part of the conversation and we can move on to something else. But if I, feel comfortable talking to you about it, what I'm doing, et cetera, then you just take that as you're one of my people and I'm talking to you about it. And if you don't want to hear it, you don't have to. If you are one of my people. It's that thing that keeps you focused. I don't have an obsession with the calorie counting. It is me making a change. But, things can become obsessive. So you don't want to do things too much, in excess. But I think with getting healthy, especially, again, this is probably going to be kind of the focus of my conversations. Like I said, I'm going to do some videos where I talk about some things I've seen in my local news as far as Orlando or Florida. And then also, maybe some little gospel stuff that I be watching, seeing on the Shade Room or that be trending or whatever. But these particular type of videos, the weight loss conversation is probably going to continue to come up in it because that is where right now my focus is. And so other things later on as I continue to post videos, I might share about different things that I'm going through or changing as far as my life, but this is a major one for me. And different than any other time, this feels way different. And again, my mind, I'm telling myself, certain things that I enjoy that are not food related may contribute to wanting to snack. And I separate that from my meals. In terms of, I don't allow myself to snack. Even if I am munchy, I don't. And I make that conscious choice or that conscious decision to tell myself, you're not hungry. It's munchies. Keep it moving. So I may get on my Switch, I may get on my phone and play my games, listen to music, do something else. Play a word game, do my township game, one of my games that I play. So I do something else to entertain myself, to focus my mind elsewhere, because that's not necessary. I may, it may coincide where I have enjoyed myself and then I ate, and that helps with the munching coming along. But in my mind, that's what I am choosing to control. I am choosing to control my mind as it relates to anything that I'm intaking in terms of food in my mouth, drink in my mouth. I'm going to count that calorie. So my MyFitnessPal is going to end up saying you've logged for 365 days because I'm going to be consistent. And that's another thing. You have to decide if you really want it, you got to be consistent. Consistency is the key to anything that you want to do that is to be successful. You open a business, you have to consistently promote your business and find ways to get customers in and advertise. And you have to be consistent with that. And you have to be consistent with the business and stick with the business in order to see it actually move somewhere. Even these 40, I don't know what day, I should have looked and saw what day it was. I'll insert it and say what day it is. But let's say it's day 45. It might be day 45 or 46. If I count from the days, something like that. But even these 45 days, I could see sort of a change in my face, but I'm not going to really see a true change until I have 6 months in, 7 months in, 8 months in. So I got to have that consistency, and I want to see that, and I want it, and I am going to get it. And so that's what you have to tell yourself. If it's something you want, you're going to go get it, and I'm going to do the work that is necessary in order for me to get it. I just had that thought as it relates to this whole thing I'm doing, and just I think that applies to life overall. If it's something you want, You have to do the work in order to get it, and you have to be consistent with that work in order to get it. It's always good to write it down because it makes it real, it makes it plain for you. And sometimes, I say I'm talk to people about this and that, but sometimes you don't have to tell people. You could tell them later when things are coming more together. You could tell them, a little bit, but you don't necessarily have to tell them everything, or you don't have to tell everybody. It can be certain people who are going to be supportive to that. I don't think I had any other thoughts. I did write notes down. Let me see if I wrote everything, talked about everything. I did. All the stuff that was on my list, I hit all of my notes. So I'm going to end this video. I thank anybody who is watching. I'm going to do it since I'm going to be posting videos. Would you like, comment, and subscribe? I am Thick Madame 730. And thank you. And I'll see you later. Bye.